Hello, it's Lee here. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Big welcome to anyone who's here for the first time. Hope you enjoy what you see and that you will subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. If you did all three, that'll be fantastical. Okay, I'm doing Junk Journal January. Hosted by Meg Journals in collaboration with Get Messy Art. So this is your daily inspiration for getting your journal out every day if you can and doing something, even if it's just something small. And what I'm doing with mine this year, I'm not doing it as a junk journal as I have previously. I'm doing it as an art journal. So that's all that I've done so far, so you can see a video on all of them in my playlist. We're up to the 10th of January. Layered is the prompt for today. Okay, so I'm going to put that out of the way, and I want to do something just a little bit different today. I'm still doing it arty and everything, but I want to use either a magazine image, sorry if that's shiny, or this image which came out of a book I got from the op shop. I want to do some stenciling. I want to do some stamping with one of my homemade stamps. Just a piece of cardboard with some foam bits stuck on it. Got my paint palette here, so if you haven't been following me, I'm only using the 3 colours right throughout this challenge. And I actually think I've put the wrong red on my palette this time, because when I went to make my dark colour for something else, I couldn't get it dark enough, and that does look suspiciously like a different red to what I was using before. But anyway, I'll use it up and we'll move on. So I've still got the turquoise, the same yellow, and then a suspect red in there. So firstly, I would like to brayer on or spread some paint across that page, and I'm going to use the red and the turquoise. So just thinking about how I want to put this on. So this is a Stay Wet palette that I've got my paint on. You can make one of these yourself. It's really easy to make one. You just need some sort of shallow dish, some baking paper, and some paper towel, and some water. And it's best if your dish has got a lid on it, but you can use something like cling film to put over it when you're not using it if you can't find a dish with a lid. So all you do is, say this was like a lasagna dish or plastic container or something. You would put paper towel in there, you would then soak your paper towel and then tip off the excess. You'd then put a piece of baking paper on the top here, put your paint on top of that, put your lid on it. And you only open it up when you're using it. And as long as the lid goes on, when it's not in use, that paint will stay there until you use it up, probably for a couple of weeks. Some climates you might get a little bit of mould. That's the only thing. Mildew. How does that look? That's pretty out there, isn't it? Okay, so that's that. What can I do with that? Let's get the catalyst wedge, see if I can spread it. Oh, can you see what happened then? I don't like that, but I did like the way the red spread like that. I'm just going to put it over here. That's too dark there now, but nothing I can do about it. I shouldn't have fiddled. Anyway, that's what we've got so far. And I've got to make up my mind which image I want to use. This one, I think. Yeah. Because I reckon then I can cover over that dark spot. I'm going to sit here there. Going to scrunch that up first of all. and oh, it's split. And I'm just going to tear it a little bit. Watch this. Oh God, I was waiting for it to rip where I didn't want it to rip. So I just really want this to look battered up. Okay, so I'm going to tear down. Her eyes look funny now. Tear down. Stick that down. So I think because I'm putting it on to paint, I better use this medium. So I'm going to put this underneath it. Just clean off my little paint knife. So how's everyone going? Hope you've all been playing along, and or if you haven't been, that you've been getting some inspiration. And I think a few of you have, because you keep telling me about it, which is so marvellous. Yeah. So hopefully been inspiring you to go on and do things in your art journal. Break out the jelly plate. Get your watercolours out of the bottom of the drawer. All those good things. I've got enough art supplies to last me for about 10 years, I think. And I just remembered I wanted to put something under that before I put that down. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on, and I'm hoping that I can still see some of the colour through it. So we're going for layers. Yeah, I've had a few comments from people that have said that because of what I've been doing with this challenge, that it's inspired them to get out some of their old art supplies, the forgotten things, lurking in the back of cupboards and that sort of stuff, which is a really lovely thing to hear. And I'm so glad that you think enough of me to share that information with me as well. So I'm going to stick her down there, and then I'm going to cover this with clear gesso. Can't see that much of the tissue anymore, but it's alright, doesn't matter. Yes, I'm going to use the clear gesso because I want to put other stuff on there. I want layers, so the paper is just one of the layers. There's going to be more on there. So this is the clear gesso that I use. So it's a Liquitex one, and it has got it's got a gritty feel about it because it's got what's called tooth, as in what you got in your head, your mouth, teeth. So it's tooth, and it is so things will stick to it. Where's my brush? There it is. No, I only want this to be a really thin layer. Yes, the person that I saw doing something similar to this, they were doing it on a piece of paper. They did it in red and black. And it was quite attractive. So I'm just going to scrape off the excess gesso. You'd be surprised what, I hardly put anything on, but I got all that off just then. So I want this to be a really thin layer. That should dry pretty quickly. It's really hot here today. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's the start of it. Now, what I want to do on this side, actually a few different places, I want to do a little bit of stenciling. I want to use a sponge for that though. Okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to put some paint on the sponge and I'm just going to dab it on here, and then I'm going to use a baby wipe to wipe it off. Oh, they're just about dried out, those. Okay, so the baby wipe ready to go. Pick up some red paint. If I don't like it, I can paint over it. I want the letters back to front. That'd be nice. Just to be different. Just going to use the baby wipe to remove the paint. I can't remember what this lady's name was. Carol Lombard, maybe? It's a little bit darker than I want, so I'm just going to take some of it away. I don't want to add any white there because it'll mix with this red and turn pink. You can see a couple of the letters. Now I'm not doing that again. I'm going to do it over here with the blue and red still on there. That looks better. I might just come over here with some of that. So let's go with the back to front letters still. Yep. Going to pick up a little bit of white. It'll mix with that blue that's already on there. I just want to do a little bit of that stenciling just there. Okay. I've also got this stencil. Just going to put some of that down there. Yeah, I don't mind that. Bit purpley looking though. Alright. I want to make a wash to go over her. That's still a bit wet. Let's see. With a bit of white on there, what will happen? There's something on this, so this will make some interesting marks. And I'm just going to smear some gesso on the brayer rather than put the brayer into the paint. Just going to run that up there, across there. Okay. I think I need to dry that, and I just want to see if I can get some of that off. Changed my mind about liking that. So what I've got here is some watercolour paint, and I did want to make a wash out of this because it's a gold colour. And I think that would look nice. Don't want to put it everywhere, just in odd places. Not when I say odd, I don't mean odd. It's strange, but just here and there. Gesso still, white paint still wet over there, so I might get in there. Got white there. Just tint that. Okay. That's not too bad. Quite liking that. I'd like to make a colour with the blue and the white. Just a nice light sort of turquoisey colour. I'm going to add a little touch of yellow into that so it turns into a pale milky green. Just added a little bit more white to it as well. Sort of looks a bit like pieces of tape when you put them on the edge like that. Put another one here. I'll put a little bit of that colour in on this side. See if I can get this to work. I think I'll just use a paint knife to apply it. So I'm just picking up whatever colour my paint knife happens to land in over on this side, because all of these colours were mixed from the same colours on the palette. Okay, that looks quite nice. Alright, it's going to have some white in there somewhere. Yeah, where's that? Oh, I forgot about the stamp. Going to do some stamping with this. See if I can get the white to work. I mean, it will work, but we'll see if I can get some white I don't know what I mean. We'll see what happens. I usually use these things on the gel plate. Let's go here. Yep, I quite like that. I like the spiral. There's 2 spirals on there. Actually 3. Decent ones, I mean. Let's go over here. Oh, it worked out really well. Not so well for that one. See if we can get that printed in here. Yeah, but not so well. Not pretty much nothing. Oh, I do have my little bubble stamp here. Just put a little paint on that. I love this little stamp. Nearly out of paint. What else can I put on there? Yellow acrylic. I don't know what I feel like putting on there is some the Inktense. It makes a difference, doesn't it? Just that little pop of colour here and there. It's a horrible red. I can't wait till it's gone off my palette. I suppose I could just get rid of it. This yellow is quite transparent, so I'm hoping if I paint over that, it's going to end up with an orangey sort of look. I feel like I want to paint a big flower or something on here. Draw one. I'm not liking this now. I'm going to wipe it off. I think I'll just leave the smears. Okay, that's better. And I've got that yellow. Just going to put a little bit more in a couple of places. That's that watercolour. Just trying to think what I was going to do then. Trying to remember. So that changes that red. Okay, so putting a layer of watercolour over that awful red changes it, warms it up. I reckon she needs a quote, this lady. She's pretty sassy looking, isn't she? I know the picture was taken in 1922. Had the date on it before I took it out of the book. Can always do a bit of this. Always turns out well. Getting it onto it's the hardest bit on here, I mean. It works better when it's pushed into something wet. I've got a good quote. It says, "I may be wrong, but I doubt it." Now, this looks like I cut it out. It's not even centered on the sticker. And these are Ideology. So Tim Holt's Ideology, Spall Talk, Snarky, which is really disappointing when, it doesn't look right, does it? I don't want to cut it down because it's such a small sticker anyway. So do I put it on something apart from my finger? I do have a piece of the paper in the corner where I tore. Oh, maybe I'm going to have to use that. Am I going to fit it on though? Yeah, it's just going to fit. Actually, I quite like that on that corner. So taking the corner off and then putting the corner on, back on again, aren't I? Just going to colour that up a little bit because I don't want to use any like distress ink or anything on this. Here we go. Just going to put that there like that. Do I need it to be sitting? Doesn't have to be right on the corner, does it? Could be there like that on an angle. That's interesting. I did actually wipe a little bit more of that watercolour onto that red when the camera wasn't going just before. So that may look a little bit different to the last time you saw it. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, so this is number... I just want to write this on before I forget. That's what I'm doing. Writing it on before I forget. So number 10. I'm just going to put the 10 down here. And I'll see if I can write... No, I can't do... I'm trying to learn a basic calligraphy lettering. I want to put something else on there. I think it needs something over on this page. And that was my stomach rumbling. What about a bit more of this? How would that look? Okay, I just got an idea. Okay, pop that out of the way. Get that. Where's my gesso? I'm going to put some gesso on there. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just going to roll that with the brayer. Yeah. Calamity Jane strikes again. Oh, hang on to it this time. Can't get away. Okay. So I'm going to glue that on there, and then I'm going to put some more of that alphabet on it. I'm going to use the brush to push that down and wrinkle it. Yeah, quite like that. Now I did say I was going to do the alphabet thing, didn't I? But I couldn't find the stencil. I don't know where I put the stencil. Oh, here it is. Okay. I've got this water soluble black crayon. I wonder, let me just try something. If I ruin it, I'll just paint over it. Diva. Okay, I just had another idea. I'm going to put 101 there. One. Oh, there's an exclamation mark. I'm going to put that in as well. Yes. Okay. She looks like she's a bit of a diva, doesn't she? Alright. And I'm just thinking, I really love these edges around here. I'm going to get my finger brush and just put some bits of gesso here and there. White gesso. It's just mixing with the watercolour paint. I'm not that keen on those marks I put there, so I'm really not worried about them getting mixed up. But I want to do that and that and that. So that looks a bit like tape, doesn't it? More so than it did before. Where else could I do with some white? Just a little bit here because that's a bit messy. So basically I'm just going to rub some white on wherever I can see that it looks like, you know, muddy, a bit muddy, like that. The red lips, that was the one thing, that was the thing I was thinking about. Oh, I really want to put some splatters on there too. Some white gesso here. Got a little fan brush. This is my favourite brush for splattering. It holds a heap of paint and the bristles are long and stiff. Well, fairly long and stiff because it's only a small brush there. And you can really load it up with the paint, and then if I hold it close to the page I can really control where the paint is going. Now don't get me wrong, you do get off spray, but not as much as I used to. Like I used to hold the brush up here somewhere and do it. It'd be going everywhere. Put a little bit in her hair. So I'm only tapping that fairly. I hit the page with the brush. So I'm going to wipe it off. Hopefully I can get it. So things do go wrong. We do have whoopsies. Okay, so let's try that again. I can't remember what I was saying. Gonna do her hair, like she's got bubbly, spotty hair. I think I was saying I wasn't tapping the brush very hard, and then I actually hit the brush into the page. And I'm still thinking about the lipstick, so I think she'd look really good with red lips. I've got a really small brush here. The only thing is white's not going over that. So, I mean red's not going over that. I'll have to paint it white first. If I put a little bit of gesso there just to see white, it just provides it with something to sit on. So if I went and put red over that, it won't look that great. It probably doesn't look that great now. She looks a bit like the lady that I did for the selfie in a bubble for the Faber. Okay, so get the brush, get the gesso out of it, and pick up a little bit of red. It's got a bit pink. See if I can get a little bit more in there. That's better. Get the black pen and draw her eyebrows. This is where it all starts going wrong. She's got very dynamic eyebrows. I think I better leave it before I go and ruin anything else. Okay. That's my diva, who I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I like that colour. That's my favourite area of that. There. Over here, we got a little bit of mess going on, but that's alright. Yeah. What do you think? I like it. I'm really happy with it. And yes, that is day. It's day 10, not tay den. There we go. Layered like a birthday cake. Tomorrow is eclectic. Yay. I can really go to town with some colours on that one. Alright, let me know in the comments what you think. Give me a thumbs up, or if you have to, a thumbs down. I won't hold it against you. I can tell which country you come from, but I don't know who you are. So subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel already. Have fun creating your own interpretation of the prompts, and I shall see you tomorrow for Eclectic Day 11. Okie dokie, hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!